Hello, this is Catherine at I Know I Need to Stop Talking. Hello, my lovelies. It's been forever. I'm like the world's worst podcaster on so many different levels. I don't just underachieve on the one level in terms of like not recording regular podcasts. I'm shit on practically every single front. I'm not in a proper recording studio. I'm sitting in my kitchen. I've usually got a cardo rocking up halfway through. I've got various household appliances misbehaving themselves. I've got cats rocking up halfway through. But hopefully that's why you come here, is for something that is very, very much whatever the opposite of a professional podcast is supposed to be. I think I can feel confident that this is almost certainly it. And how are you and how have you been? It's been such a long time, and I think I said this on one of my previous podcasts. When I started doing the podcast, we were in lockdown, and it was really fucking easy to commit to recording podcast once a week because, let's be honest, what else was in my social calendar? Fuck all. That's the answer. Fuck all. But then suddenly life has just come back into the way, which is wonderful and glorious and the most best thing ever. But I do genuinely really miss sitting down and recording these. And I think I've concluded that if it was just a case of sitting down and chatting about random shit once a week, that would be easy to commit to. But you can't just do that. Then, of course, you have to go through and you have to edit it and take out anything where you've inadvertently belched into the microphone. Goodness me, yes, that is how glamorous this podcast is. And so I feel like not editing it would probably put you all off your dinners, lunches and breakfasts. Do you call it dinner or tea or supper? That's a real divisive thing, isn't it? Dinner or tea or supper. We always called it tea in my house. That's the evening meal was always tea. Lunch, middle of the meal was always lunch when I was growing up, and evening meal was always tea. And now I think I call every meal dinner, just to be on the safe side. Even breakfast. We don't really do breakfast in our house, which I know is a bit of a controversial thing. My brilliant friend V, I had her children round one morning this week because I was taking them to school. And then I suddenly realised, because I was feeling quite competent, yeah, of course, no problem. I'm going to have your children, take them to school, and look at me. I'm totally on top of this parenting thing. And I totally suddenly went, fuck, we've got fuck all for breakfast unless they want either cat food or raw eggs. I mean, obviously I would have cooked the eggs for them. I'm not quite that bad a parent. Why have I got onto breakfast? Oh yes, meals of the day. So yeah, pretty much every meal is dinner now, which is perhaps controversial or not. I don't know. Goodness me, it's a minefield. It's a minefield, these things. But I have genuinely missed you. And goodness, so many different things. So many things have happened, which is lovely. Isn't it wonderful that we're back to a stage in life where stuff can happen again? And to be really clear, no, I'm not doing the moronic government line of COVID's gone. It's not a thing anymore. It definitely is a thing. We should all still be taking care of ourselves and the people that we love and people that we don't know around us, but just being able to do some of those brilliant, lovely things has been genuine, amazing. More on which shortly. I don't know if anybody's mentioned that it's hot. Does anybody mention the temperature to you? Actually, probably a better question would be if you're one of the few people out there who's not had anybody mention the temperature to you. Congratulations, and please come and talk to us all so we can all learn from whatever skills you have. But yeah, it's not even hot yet, but I don't know about anybody else. The media seem intent on whipping us up to an absolute fucking frenzy over this heat wave. And I absolutely know that, high temperatures can be very, very dangerous. We should all be really careful. Although I really liked, if anybody who's been on the BBC News website today, there's a great headline which says something along the lines of, in order to avoid dying in the heat, people should stay safe. I mean, that is great advice, right? In order to avoid being in danger, we should all stay safe. In order to avoid getting ill, we should all stay well. I mean, God, if it was only that simple. I love the logic. So yeah, if you want advice for the heat wave, according to the BBC, in order to you ensure that you're not in danger during the heat wave, stay safe. Good, excellent, good, solid advice. But yeah, because of this media frenzy, it's not actually that hot yet. But the frenzy is such that I feel like every time, I'm very easily susceptible. So every time I step outside the front door, I'm expecting to, collapse in a pool of my own sweat, which, to be fair, now I'm 40, it's entirely plausible that could happen even on the chilliest of days. But the heat is coming. We can tell a heat wave's coming because people have started to reference the summer of 1976 in earnest. I was not born in the summer of 1976, but fuck me, I feel like I fucking lived through it. And I'm sure for anybody who did live through that summer, it does indeed sound very, very hot. Sounds like there were a lot of ladybirds, which is weird, and I don't know why that would be, but maybe these next few hot days, maybe we're going to get some ladybirds. Of course, if you're anywhere in the north of England, you're probably laughing your heads off or simultaneously feeling very pissed off about any of us kind of south of Hadrian's Wall, on the basis that probably it's still quite grey and drizzling, and you probably still need a Mac when you go, a Mac? Do Macs still exist? Do Macs still exist? It's one of my favourite stories from when Beth was very little, and as I think I said before on here myself, and Mr I Know I Need to Stop Talking, both have spent a period of time in our lives being actors. And when Beth was very little, Mr I Know I Need to Stop Talking, he said, oh, we should get Beth a Mac. I went, what? She was like a baby. He went, yeah, we should get her a Mac, because then she'd put on her Mac and she'd be Macbeth. And we were really sleep deprived, and I laughed for fucking ages over that joke, and it still makes me smile now. Macbeth, yeah, good, yeah, you can tell he's a comedy genius. But yes, references to the summer of 1976 have started being made. Fans are, I think, probably exceeding the price per gram of pure gold. Now, I went onto Amazon the other day, not to buy a fan. I have a fan, and I have a couple of ceiling fans, and I'm very grateful for them. But I went to have a look. I can't remember why. Anyway, some fans came up, and I was like, fuck off. But no, and I know what you're going to say to me here, which is that I shouldn't be buying from Amazon because they're evil, and they almost certainly are. I say that. I don't really know very much about Amazon, but clearly if you're supposed to pay taxes, pay your taxes. So Amazon, if you're not paying your taxes, pay your taxes. But it cannot be denied that when you're really fucking disorganised, like me, having someone who will deliver same-day stuff is very handy. So I do sometimes use Amazon, and I did go on and have a look at the price of fans, and fuck me. Like, you know those little shitty handheld fans, the really little ones that you hold in your hand with, like, little batteries, which usually, I'm going to say, are maybe £3 to £5. That would be my guess, £3 to £5 for a little shitty handheld fan. Amazon, this week, I'm not exaggerating, go and have a look for yourself, £15 to £20. Fuck off. I fucking hate price surging in response to fucking demand. It's like just fucking very fucking wrong. And I am also predisposed to really dislike those little fans because of a story. I've slightly given away the punchline here. When Beth was about 3, let's say, we were in our old house, and Mr I Know I Need to Stop Talking, I think, was downstairs. We had a 3-storey house. I think he was downstairs and I was right upstairs on the top floor. And the children, so Beth would have been 3, Jamie would have been about 6, were playing in the middle floor. And all of a sudden we had this scream from Jamie, Mommy, Daddy, come quickly. I don't want my sister to die. And we're like, oh my God, I've never moved so fast in my fucking life. We both ran to the middle floor, collided, and Beth, thankfully, pleasingly, was not dying, but was holding one of those little handheld fans, and the little floppy fan turny-roundy things, whatever they're called, whatever those fan things are. Anyway, those things had got caught in her very long hair, and so the fan was tangled in her hair. No fear of death, although she'd listened to that BBC advice, avoid being at risk of danger, stay safe. I'm going to use that with everybody this week, just stay safe. So what does anybody want to do in the middle of a heat wave? Obviously, you want to spending the entire day standing on a football pitch. And of course, that's what we're doing this weekend, because Beth has not one, but 2 football tournaments in quick succession. And fucking hell, I mean, fair play to her. It's a good job that they all like football, these kids, because the thought of doing anything more energetic than walking to the fridge to fill up my glass of water is frankly a little bit too much. So she had one football tournament today. Jamie and his girlfriend gallantly came along for, I'm gonna say, the first 30 minutes of what turned out to be a most of the day tournament. And Jamie's like, yeah, I'll come and watch. And, my girlfriend, she's not that into football, but she'll, she likes Beth, she'll come and watch. Yeah, they stuck it out for 2 games. And before you're thinking 2 games, that's pretty good. In football tournaments, these games are typically about 8 to 10 minutes in length. So, I'm not entirely convinced that they are the 2 greatest football pundits of their time. But yay, well done, Jamie, for turning up. And I'd love to say that Beth's team played amazingly and triumphed despite the heat conditions, but they were fucking awful, really. I mean, they were really genuinely quite dreadful. And obviously the whole thing is supposed to be about fun and enjoyment, but, come on, kids, it's really hot. Put some fucking effort into it. At least make all of us grown-ups standing there on the side sweating, because I do think kids don't seem to feel the heat in the same way, do they? I can remember, as a small child, running around like a lunatic while my parents, perspired on I was going to say the sidelines, pretending that I was in any way kind of an athletic child whatsoever. I think I once might have had to play an orchestra concert in slightly inclement weather conditions, so they put some fans on us, and that was probably the closest I got to physical exertion during a heat wave. But yes, so we're off to yet another football tournament tomorrow. But of course, the timing is optimum, right? Because if you haven't been watching it, even if you're not a football fan, get the Euros on. And by the Euros, I mean the women's Euros. And this is a bugbear of mine right now, and I'm just going to have a rant. I keep wanting to have this rant on the Facebook page, and I know, because this happens every time I rant on there, because the size of the audience, there will just be I'm going to say men, and it will be men, because it always has been men every time I've had this argument, and 99% of all the men who follow the page and respond to the page are lovely and brilliant, and then there's this little 1% who, when I make what I think is a perfectly reasonable comment, so there's been some really great reporting on the Women's Euros this summer. It's been really brilliant, and actually the BBC has probably led the way on that. They've been really, really good. All the games have been shown on BBC One or BBC Two, so yay, bravo BBC, you've done a really good job. And they're referring on their website and when they're talking about it as the Women's Euros, which I am absolutely fine with, because, you know, it's the women's football team playing in the Euros. But if we get to November time and they refer to the Men's World Cup, which is taking place in November and December, as just the World Cup, I will lose my fucking shit, because you do need to differentiate between the two tournaments, but then it's men's and women's, or men's and bison, or women and flamingos. But to have women's something and then just the World Cup, oh, and here's the Women's World Cup, no. You're probably listening to this thinking, Catherine, you are being unreasonable about something that really doesn't matter. And I'm like, part of me thinks you're correct, and part of me thinks no, this is how it all starts. So yeah, anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that, other than feeling briefly annoyed about the potential inequality that hasn't even happened yet. Yes, good, excellent. It's a good place to use your energy and your anger, Catherine, is to get annoyed about something that hasn't even happened yet. Bravo. But the Euros have been genuinely amazing, and even, as I say, even if you're not a football fan, put it on. It's not. Let's be honest, there's fuck all else on TV. Watch a bit of the Euros, and we were lucky enough as a family to get tickets to go and watch what turned out to be, I would say, arguably the greatest game of the tournament so far. Obviously, I didn't fucking know that when I booked the tickets about a year ago. I took a chance. There were two games that we could have probably geographically got to, and I picked the one on the Monday night because I thought we were less likely to be doing something on the Monday than we were on the Friday night. And I don't think I could pick my seats. I think I was automatically allocated seats, and I was a bit like, seats behind the goal. It's not my favourite place to sit. But again, one of the things that women's football gets so right is they make it accessible for everybody. So children's tickets were £7.50 each, and mine and Mr I Know I Need to Stop Talking were £15 each, as opposed to if I'd gone to see the England men's play, where I'd probably have had to sell my car. So really reasonably priced tickets. And we got to the stadium, which is the Amex Stadium in Brighton, which is such a lovely stadium. I'd not been there before. And you realise immediately that actually it's so well designed that wherever you sit, you're going to have this amazing view of the pitch. And we just got really, really fucking lucky. And we were sat behind the goal, which in the first half had six different goals fired into it. And the atmosphere was unreal. I've watched a lot of football in my lifetime, and I'm not sure I can remember just a more joyous footballing occasion. And again, it's something that the women's game gets so right. There was no aggression, there was no drunkenness, there was no bottles being thrown or racist chants taking place. Everybody was so supported. The players took the knee and the stadium erupted in support for them. It was just amazing. And the most amazing thing of all was how pissed off Beth was. And you're probably thinking, what the fuck? Why was Beth pissed off? Well, in the car on the way there, as we always do before the big England games, we do a score prediction. We go, okay, what do we think the score's going to be? So Mr I Know I Need to Stop Talking and Beth both predicted the same score. They thought it was going to be 2-1 to England, and knowing Norway are a really good team, I'm like, yeah, no, that's plausible. I think it's plausible. I was like, I'm going to be a bit more optimistic. I'm going to go 3-0. 3-0 to England. I reckon England can do it. 3-0 to England. And they're like, okay. Jamie was in the back, texting his girlfriend, not really listening or concentrating on what was going on. And so he said, Jamie, come on, what's your score prediction? And once we kind of roused him from his stupor, he was like, I don't know, 8-0 to England. And Beth went, what? And he went, yeah, 8-0 to England, laughing, because obviously he knew they weren't going to beat Norway, 8-0. And Beth, in an immortal line, went, I'll tell you what, Jamie, if England actually beat Norway, 8-0, spot on, 8-0, I will give you £10. So it was something deeply joyous to watch Beth go from initial euphoria to oh my God, it's 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, oh my God, they can't score anymore, 7-0. And then we left the stadium slightly early to go and walk to our car because it was a Monday night, so we left a little bit early. And Beth's like, okay, 7-0, we're all good, 7-0. And literally as we walked out of the stadium, we just heard this cheer erupt inside the stadium, and my phone flashed up to say they had indeed beaten Norway 8-0. So Jamie came out and I said, did you have a nice time? He said, it was brilliant. I said, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. He went, no. He went, I made a profit. Yes, son. Yes, you did. So yeah, 8-0. Dreams can come true. We're obviously coming up to the end of the school year. Jamie's actually finished. He finished on Friday. Finished year 9. Mental. I can remember being in year 9. That's scary, isn't it? And Jamie actually, he'll kill me. No, he won't mind me sharing this. He's quite happy with me sharing random bits on the blog and on here. It's fair to say that Jamie is a very, very bright student who is also, by his school reports admission, one of the most popular kids in his year. And Jamie's popular because Jamie likes to dick around and play the fool and be the class clown, basically. That's it. That's his raison d'etre at school, which gives him loads and loads of friends and loads of kudos, but also gives him loads and loads of detentions. So it's fair to say that when it comes to like winning awards for model behaviour, Jamie has not entirely been up there. And I've told you before the immortal story of the school sometimes write home. They write letters when a child's done particularly well. And I know this because Jamie's best friend, his mum had said, "Oh, we had a letter home from the headmaster, saying how great he'd been doing at school." And I was like, "Oh, brilliant." And then a few weeks later, I too got a letter from the school. I could see the school logo on the front. And I thought, "My goodness, Jamie's got one of these. This is fantastic." And I opened it up to find it was an invoice for a toilet seat that Jamie had broken by standing on it. So that kind of sets the scene. But this term, the last couple of weeks, I had an email from the school to say that Jamie he was one of only a very small number of children who'd been nominated to win this very special award that the school were doing this year in honour of the Platinum Jubilee year. And if I'm honest, and I have said this to Jamie, my first reaction was, oh, they've emailed the wrong parent. But they hadn't. Jamie had actually won this award. And the two most joyous things about this was, A, how genuinely thrilled he was when he came home and he said, "Oh, I've got it. This is, I've got this award and I've got a mug and I've got a badge." And I was like, "It's amazing, sweetheart. Well done. I'm so proud of you." And I said to him, "So what did you get this award for?" And he looked at this award and he's got a certificate that says, "Jamie, you've got this award. It's an award for excellence." I said, "What did you get it for?" And he looked absolutely baffled. He went, "Maybe I was excellent." Good. That's my son. That's my boy. But yeah, we're very proud of him. He's he is a very good boy. And when he's not being invoiced for broken toilet seats, hey, he can even get certificates and mugs and badges as well. And meanwhile, Beth's still got four more days of school left. And I honestly, when I start, even now, just talking about Beth finishing school, I've now got tears in my eyes because I can't believe she's coming to the end of her primary school journey. And I'm not sad because I'm like, oh, I wish we could do those years again, because I make no secret of the fact that I found life when my kids were really little really, 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 really fucking hard. But Beth's school has just been the best. Honestly, it has just been. I cannot fault that school in any single way. I think I've said before, when the children when they were little, I was putting down school applications and I was on maternity leave with Beth, and I went round because I was on maternity leave. I didn't have anything else to do with my time. I went and looked at 14, 1-4. Yes, I know, I had issues, different schools that the children could conceivably have gone to. And I walked through the front door of the school that they're now both in. And I literally, as soon as I sat in reception, I thought, this is the school I want my kids to go to. And I wrote to the headmistress at the end of this week, just basically thanking her for everything her and the staff have done over the years, because, schools, teachers get such a bad rep, and 99% of the time, in my personal opinion, it's completely unjustified. And there are no words as a parent to say how grateful you are, how grateful I am for all that time when, you're not there parenting your child because you're going out to work, and quite rightly they're getting an education, for the amazing love, care, support, cheering on, enthusiasm, just everything they've given those kids, and the way they know. I mean, Beth and Jamie's school is a small school, it's a one-form intake, and I swear every single teacher in that school knows my kids, gets my kids. Jamie's been so well supported from teachers right around the school. Beth has had opportunities both on and off the football pitch given to her by so many different members of staff. Like, honestly, it brings genuine tears to my eyes, because if you're in teaching, if you work as a teacher, if you work as a teaching assistant, if you're site staff, if you're office staff, I just really, really want you to know, absolutely heartfelt, the difference you make to our kids is just, there are no words. In however many years, was it 7 years at primary school? 7 years at primary school, there's never been a single day that my kids have not wanted to go to school. And that is testimony to, teachers that are doing a fantastic, fantastic job. So yeah, it's a bit emotional because I am a bit emotional. My kids are doing standing running joke that come Thursday, I am going to be in absolute bits, and I will be in absolute bits, but for all the best reasons, right? Because these are just people who've made such an amazing impact on my kids' lives. So we had Beth's final ever sports day, and I've written a blog post about sports day and I won't go over it in loads of detail, but the kids' school, again, in my opinion, they just get sports day spot on. I know there's some schools that decide to do away with any bit of competition whatsoever in sports day, and I kind of get it, but I also think, and I say this as someone who was absolutely fucking dreadful at sports day, I was quite good at all the academic subjects. It did me quite a lot of good to go, oh, do you know what, here's something that is really hard for you and that you're not necessarily going to do particularly well at, and that's all right. It's okay not to be good and do well at everything. But the kids' school, I think, get it spot on, because while it is competitive, the primary thing that you're competing for is points for your houses. You come first, second and third, but the primary thing is you compete for your houses. And the kids love it. They're so into it. One of the things that always makes me cry on sports day is the way that the house captains and the vice captains, when the Key Stage 1 do their races, they will always go and run with the slowest child in that race, so no child ever crosses that line alone. And I just think that is, God, that is a metaphor for how I want my kids to be in life. And as I said on the blog, one of my proudest moments, clearly Beth absolutely fucking loves sports day. And she's, I was going to say she's good at sports day. She is good at some stuff in sports day. She's fucking awful at other stuff. See her in an egg and spoon race, dear God. And as for skipping, not her strengths, but she'd done well in her running races. But my proudest moment was not her, finishing well in the running races. It was when a mate of hers had crossed the line and he was crying because he'd hurt his knee and he was worried that he's going to let his house down, and he didn't want to let his house down. And Beth went straight over to him, put an arm straight around him, was asking what was going on. And he said, oh, I'm worried that my house won't be proud of me. And she went, you've tried your best. Of course they'll be proud of you. And that is the ethos and the attitude that the school teaches them. And honestly, I just love it. I just love it. Absolutely. Yeah, it's brilliant. So yeah, sports day, huge success. Beth was exuberant, and even better because there were no parents' race, so I didn't have to publicly humiliate myself. So a win all round. So loads going on, and as if all of that wasn't enough, we're also having our loft converted at the moment, which I think I might have alluded to on the last podcast. Well, it's happening. I tell you what, I've got scaffolding. I fucking love my scaffolding. And obviously, this is, you back to that BBC News, in order not to be in danger, you should stay safe. And you should definitely, if you want to stay safe, definitely not be climbing up your own scaffolding. But I do it every night. I love it. It's so much fun going up there, huge great big ladder, and then you can touch your own roof. And you're probably thinking, Catherine, I've never wanted to touch my own roof. And all I can say to you is, until you've touched your roof, how do you know? It's brilliant. So yeah, I've been up and down that scaffolding, and my builder's looking at me slightly bemused. I'm like, look at this, you've built walls, you've built a roof. They're like, yes, that is our job. So the loft conversion is going great guns. I mean, I am worried about my builders on Monday and Tuesday when they're going to be up there all hot, but maybe I'll go up to them and say to them, listen, in order not to be in danger in the heat, you need to stay safe. You need to stay safe, and it is that simple. Just stay safe and you won't be in danger. Boom. So yeah, heat is coming. Football is happening. It's very exciting. Loft conversion is in progress. Jamie's a gem. Beth's a gem. The cats are fucking absolutely roasting. Although Brexit, the biggest moron of the three this week, has decided that the best place to sleep in the middle of a heat wave is in the middle of the really stuffy, really hot Conservative. She is as stupid as her name. So yeah, I'm certainly probably this week, trying to keep the cats cool and trying to keep myself cool by, I don't know, well, I would say go and point a load of fans at the underside of my boobs, but based on the current cost of fans, I'll probably, I don't know, I'll just stay safe, and then I won't be in danger, because if you stay safe, you won't be in danger. Thank you, BBC. I hope you're all keeping safe and well and cool. And if you do enjoy the heat, you mad people, I hope you're enjoying the heat. I'm going to spend the rest of my Saturday evening literally transferring my children from pillar to post, because that's apparently my life calling these days. Like I say, I'm definitely going to apply to Uber, because I feel like my Uber rating would be really high, although probably not, because my kids would probably kick off at the fact that I did something as heinous as, I don't know, tried to make them have some kind of vague conversation with me, as opposed to sit in obstreperous silence in the back of the car on their Uber trip. So I'm off to circulate and collect my children. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I will try and be less shit with these podcasts. I almost certainly won't, but the intention is definitely there. I was thinking maybe I should switch to doing them once a month, and I was like, but that's a long time between podcasts. So I feel like I might need to, I don't know, up my game and sort my shit out, but it is not going to be any time in the next few days, because I'm going to be spending the entire time lying face down on the floor with my head in a bag of frozen peas, ensuring that I stay safe and therefore I'm not in danger. It's a plan. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Stay cool. I will speak to you soon. Lots of love. Bye-bye.